So let's take a hypothetical couple. We'll call them Terry and Sean. And we'll put them into a not super horrible dilemma, and we're going to see what happens. So let's say that Terry is out and heading home and calls up Sean and says, "Hey, Sean, I've got a great idea. Let's get pizza." And Sean's thinking, "Oh, I don't really feel like pizza. I was kind of thinking about a salad today." And Sean knows that to say that would mean that conflict would be in the relationship, right? And I always picture it up here, between the two people, up here, like swarming around like a swarm of bees or a thundercloud or something. It's conflict. So let's say instead, Terry calls up and says, "Hey, Sean, I got a great idea. Let's get pizza tonight." And Sean doesn't want pizza, really wants a salad, but doesn't want to have that kind of an evening. So says, "Yeah, sure, pizza sounds good." All right. No harm done. Sean doesn't really want pizza, but went along with it anyway. No big deal. There's no conflict up here in the relationship. But does the conflict still exist? Right. It does. Where does it exist? Inside of Sean. So Sean hasn't avoided conflict. Sean has effectively internalized conflict. Now, the first thing that happens there, the most simple thing, is that Terry's getting misinformation, right? So Terry's going to come home with a pizza, plan on having a great night, thinking that they're both in on it together, and Sean's going to be a little off, a little quiet, a little weird, and when Terry asks why, Sean's not going to be able to really say why, and it's going to be kind of weird. But that's not even the worst part. The real damage to the relationship comes in here, because conflict, in order to be resolved or dissolved or worked through or gotten rid of, always requires compromise. So, if Terry wants pizza and calls up Sean, and Sean doesn't really want pizza and says that, and there's conflict up here in the relationship, then the two partners are going to have to work together and come up with a compromise. Maybe they order a pizza and pick up a salad. Maybe they wait till Saturday. I don't know. They'll come up with some kind of compromise together to work it out. But if Terry calls up Sean and says, "Hey, I got a great idea. Let's get pizza tonight," and Sean doesn't want pizza, but doesn't want to have that evening, so says, "Yeah, sure, pizza. Go ahead. I'll order it. You pick it up," and internalizes the conflict, what happens then? See, the compromise that internalized conflict requires is that we compromise a bit of ourselves every time. And it builds up over time, and it has a way of chipping away at a person's sense of self. And they begin to feel like they don't matter, they're less important in the relationship. They begin to feel like they lose their voice. And then resentment sets in, and resentment builds. Now, the good news is that it's really easy to undo that pattern. All the couple has to do is prioritize honesty over the reaction that they're afraid that they're going to get from their partner. All they have to do is make sure that their yes means yes or their no means no. Be honest with each other in their thoughts and in their feelings. Now, will there be more conflict? No. There won't be more conflict. It'll just be out in the open where it belongs, right? Where both partners can work together to come up with a compromise. So that nobody is any longer internalizing the conflict. Nobody's chipping away at their sense of self. There's no voice being lost. Resentment doesn't set in, and resentment doesn't build up. So I'd like to see you try that. Being honest with one another. It'll be easier than you think. Thank you.